What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XLM, Stellar to US dollar. We're also going to be talking about something pretty important and pretty big. Basically, US national debt hits a terrifying price of $22 trillion, and this is why Litecoin and Bitcoin matter. So if any of that interests you, make sure to stick around for the episode. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notification, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content and want to see more. We are doing a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers, which is right around the corner, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So guys, I am currently on the coin market cap, and as you guys can see, we have a market cap of 120 billion, a 24-hour volume of 21.7, and then a Bitcoin dominance of 52.6%. So Bitcoin is dropping. You know, its dominance in the market is dropping. Yes, it is more than half, but you know, we saw it at 53 point something percent yesterday, and it is kind of dramatically falling. We also see 24-hour volume at 21.7 billion, so that is actually slightly higher than yesterday, or around even with yesterday. So we're gonna have to see how that is going to be reflected in the prices. And then we see market cap at 120.8, which is also slightly lower. So we may be seeing 24-hour volume up because we're seeing money leave the exchanges. We're not really seeing much movement at all in the exchanges. So scrolling down to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, it gives us a pretty good overview of the market. So you know, Litecoin is still in the number 5 spot. You know, we were number 4, but we did get booted out by EOS. Now in the number 5 spot. You know, Litecoin is down with Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin's down by 0.58%, $3,600. You know, it's still above that 3,500, but Litecoin is down 3.6% at 41.89, and we're going to be looking at that and kind of discussing why that is, and if we're going to head lower. But out of the 10 coins, you can see that we have 5 out of the 10 are down, not by much. You know, Litecoin taking the biggest hit today, but for the most part, as we saw this massive run up, we are now followed by some consolidation. You know, Ethereum on a slight rise to the upside, but for the most part, the coins are, you know, trading pretty neutral after this explosion. But Tron, Stellar are the ones that are taking kind of a bit of a hit right now. But you know, market looks pretty good for the most part. You know, about 50-50. I definitely would say consolidation is definitely what is happening right now. Some coins up in double digits and some are down, but for the most part, not really much movement is happening within the market. Really quick, guys, before we jump into the next segment of today's episode, I just wanted to point out that if you haven't yet signed up for the link in the description, it's a link to the ABRA. I believe it's the second link. Basically, they're doing a promotion right now to gain a little bit more publicity for their ETF, as well as their exchange as a whole. Basically, they're doing a promotion right now for the next couple of weeks where if you sign up today using my link in the description, because I am partnered with them, they will give you $25 of free Bitcoin. All you have to do is sign up using a US bank account and deposit $5 of USD into cryptocurrency or whatever, and they will reward you with $25. I've had over, I think, 40 people now sign up for this. So if you're new to the channel or you haven't signed up just yet, make sure to check that out. It is huge. It's not going to be around for much longer, another week or two, and take advantage of it. Who doesn't like some free Bitcoin? So I did want to look at the national debt. So basically, the U.S. national debt did hit a terrifying $22 trillion, and I want to talk about why Litecoin and Bitcoin matter in this case. We did see, I believe it was Tuesday, so yesterday we hit 22 trillion, which is massive. So yesterday is a record moment in the U.S. History. The total national debt has surpassed 22 trillion for the first time ever. The runaway mountain of debt is a terrifying reminder of how fragile the fiat monetary system is, and if you want to watch it pile up in real time, you can visit the U.S. debt clock. It's a sobering vision of a system that is out of control. So how exactly will this be affected by Litecoin and Bitcoin? Well, you know, with Litecoin and Bitcoin having a fixed supply and anti-inflationary policy, it may be the antidote, you know? So the national debt jumped 30 billion in the last month alone. You know, in the total, the U.S. racked up more than $1 trillion worth of debt in the last year. The debt has spiraled since Donald Trump introduced his $15 billion tax cut plan last year. However, we should point out that Obama was a much worse offender. The national debt doubled under his presidency, which is actually pretty wild. this isn't, any fault to any one president. It's the fault of the economic system that is slowly failing us. Although many have maintained the economy is booming, this is a car crash coming in slow motion. So, this is why Bitcoin, and Litecoin matter. When the next recession comes, and it will, we all must be prepared. The U.S. will find it much more difficult to pay back the debt, and there's and they're unlikely to support struggling institutions like they did in the wake of 2008 crisis, which is why Bitcoin was, created in the first place. Instead, they'll be forced to turn to the Federal Reserve to print more dollars, and the effect this increases inflation like Venezuela did, and pushes down the purchasing power of your money. In the worst case, it can lead to hyperinflation, as we saw in Venezuela and other socialistic type democracies. When the next global financial crisis occurs and the world realizes organizations with 20 trillion in debt can't possibly ever pay it back and thus must print instead, and thus fiat is doomed, watch what happens to crypto. Just a hint. I don't know, my prediction. Bitcoin and Litecoin are the alternative monetary system. It's the antithesis of fiat money, like the dollar. Unlike fiat, it has fixed supply, so central banks can't endlessly print more. And its monetary policy is not controlled or manipulated by any one entity. So when the debt bubble finally pops, people will flock to alternatives. Shapeshift CEO Eric Voorhees has predicted the growing national debt will inevitably lead to a crypto boom again. So for now, the national debt continues to build, as Judd Gregg and Edward Rendell of the Campaign to Fix the Debt conclude. This is another sad reminder of an inexcusable tab of our nation's leaders continue to run up and will leave for the next generation. So, moving on from that, I did actually do a little bit of research, and it was interesting. I got an email today, from TradingView, the charts that I use, and if you guys want access to my charts, check my Patreon in the link below, the first link in the description, and you guys can get access to my TradingView charts, and you can follow along with all these charts that we will do in a second. So I got an interesting email from the company that I use to graph and trade cryptocurrency, and they actually started to accept Bitcoin at a discounted rate, which is an interesting motive, that they're saying, we don't want fiat now, we'll actually give you a discount, and we'll purchase up your Litecoin and crypto and Bitcoin and EOS if you pay with it. We will give you a discount, which is huge. And it makes me think, why would they be accepting it at such a low rate? Not only is crypto very low, but to just see this article about how they're about to, see cryptocurrency rise up because of its cap in the market, its market cap. It makes me think, that because companies are starting to accept cryptocurrencies more and more and more, bigger companies, it makes you think that they may know something we don't, or they may be on the right move to start accepting this and kind of building a little basket of cryptocurrency so that when it does take off, they'll be prepared to make some good money. So definitely something I just wanted to point out. Here you go, to the moon with TradingView. They're now accepting cryptocurrency, special offer for crypto traders. Obviously it's definitely a lot cheaper if you just use my charts and graph it off that. But this is another option for you guys right here. Otherwise, I do want to just start graphing, cryptocurrency, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XLM. So I did make a video a couple days ago. I did talk about if we were going to break $50, would we break out, which we probably would. But, because of this uptrend being here, I was anticipating a bearish break, and that's kind of what we're seeing. We're also finding a resistance at $43 now. So we're kind of getting trapped between the $43 and the $40 support. And I did say I was buying in when we tested 40 or this red band. So I am actually buying in. I am dollar cost averaging. So I just started to buy in at this red band, and I'm going to buy all the way down to the green band. If it does go that low, I will be prepared. If not, I'll have a little bit of accumulation at the red band for the next rise up. But we are currently, nearing overbought still on the daily. So it's an indication to me that I'm going to put in, most of my fiat into crypto when I see it go to around $37. So that's totally up to you what you guys do. That's just my personal opinion. Do with it as you will, but that's pretty much my plan. Seeing resistance at 46, I was anticipating a pullback to around 40, not 37, and I do think we're headed on track for that because of this massive run-up. We do need some consolidation and some sort of pullback in that. Moving on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin still looks beautiful, guys. You know, being that it did just break out of its downtrend, its descending triangle, to see a beautiful pop up to the upside, I am honestly anticipating some sort of consolidation, some sort of sideways trading for the next couple of weeks, mainly because, yes, it did break a smaller descending triangle. In the actual sense, a more macroeconomic, if we take a step back, it is actually in a much bigger descending triangle in the long term, as you guys can see here. This is the descending triangle I am referring to, as you can see. So this is what needs to be broken. So to see a small leap like that is really nothing compared to what will happen when we actually test the downtrend. The downtrend back at the end, at the end of March. So it'll be definitely very interesting. I definitely think keep hodling. It was definitely a good way to take out some profits on that small leap and to buy back in if we do fall lower to 35 or 33. If not as low as 3,000, that's where I would dollar cost average, and wait for this downtrend, and we'll see if we decide to break out. We're definitely going to make a pretty big run, and it'll be very interesting because it's very close to Litecoin's halving. So it's going to be a very interesting year, guys. I definitely think 2019 is going to be pretty big for crypto. Lastly, into the top 10, the top 3 blue chip cryptocurrencies, we have to talk about Ethereum. Very similar. Ethereum does actually look to be in the best place compared to the other two coins. Broke bullish from the downtrend, shot up. Nowhere near yet the high-low MMA. Slowly coming to meet that. Apologize for the ad. But this high-low MMA is slowly starting to come in, and I do think the coin is going to meet that and probably have some resistance. So I think, again, consolidation is definitely needed for the market for the next couple of days. Lastly, the reason I talk about XLM and we're not looking at another altcoin in the current moment is due to the fact that XLM is building up, as we saw previously with Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. It did break bullish from its downtrend and it did shoot up. We are now currently experiencing that with XLM, so it's pretty much foreshadowing what XLM is going to do. You can see the downtrend is right here, sideways movement. I am anticipating a break to the upside, and a move up to 13 cents is definitely a possibility, if not even higher, because we've seen us break much more than the high-low MMA. Conservatively, I would sell off at 13 and just take my profits and run, but it could potentially go up all the way to, I'd say 15, 16 cents again. So definitely keeping this on my radar. I'll buy in once I see it break the downtrend. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But that's going to sum up today's episode, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notification, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.